Hey, everybody. Welcome to Abnormal Investigations. I've got a lady today that's going to share a couple of encounters. She does want to remain anonymous due to her location and not wanting to get a lot of people out there. And there's a lot of people that do choose to remain anonymous, and I don't blame them because when a lot of these encounters get publicized, you get a lot of people that end up showing up, and a lot of the elders in a lot of the areas they don't like that kind of attention to these small towns that are mostly retirement communities. But with that said, I think she's got a couple of encounters that she wants to share with us, and her name is Carrie, and I'm going to let her go ahead and kind of tell you about herself and her first encounter. So, Carrie, the floor is yours.
All right, thanks. Um, the first one was about 20 years ago. My siblings and I were playing in the dark, and I had my son, who was 3 at the time, on the back of my bike, and it was just 100 feet from where I live now. And I was on my bike, and I was stopped, and I felt like I was being watched. And my hair went up on my arms, and I stopped and looked by this tree, and I saw maybe 3-4 foot high, I guess like a juvenile, duck behind the tree, and I saw its eyes. And then I was just standing there. Something was telling me, I need to leave. Not like a fear of dread, but I just couldn't move. I was like paralyzed for like a few minutes, and then I finally, left. And then a few years later, well, actually maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, I was getting ready to start my car up, and then I looked down the street, and something caught my eye, and I saw something run super fast down the street, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and it totally blocked the stop sign. I mean, it just was that fast, and we went out and measured it, and I think the stop sign was like 8.5 foot tall. But that, and then, well, actually, a few years before that, I was babysitting some girls, and it's daylight, like 12 or 1 o'clock, and the girl came in and said, I see a monkey in the tree over right across from my house. I went out there, and of course I didn't see anything, but see that, yeah, before that. And then 2016 we went to the diamond mines, and 2017, yeah, with my brothers, and we went there early in the morning, and I heard 3 distinct wood knocks, like 1, and then a pause, 2, a pause, 3. And then my brothers and I saw a tree in the back just crack, and it was starting to swaying back and forth. And then they went out to investigate it. But anyway, I took some pictures of a little barefoot footprint in the right there at the edge of the thing. And I took some other pictures that might have been one in the background, but I think that's about all I saw as far as Bigfoot goes, except for, 5 or 6 years ago, I was going to work at 4 in the morning, and I was behind this dump truck, and this dump truck was putting on his brakes. And then when I got up to where he was, I almost hit this giant, I don't know if it was a dog man or what it was, but the back was level with my driver's side outside mirror. And I saw the back, and I saw the bushy tail, and then the leg. So I think that's about all I can remember for now.
Have you heard any weird noises around your house or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. In 2007, after I quit work for a while, I heard a weird whistling sound, like a high-pitched, really long. And I heard that for like 2 days, exactly right when the sun was coming up. And I heard it. I don't know what it was. It might not have been anything, and I think my husband and I at night heard a thud against our house, but I think that's the only other weird noises that I might have heard.
And you're kind of in the same area as Dawn.
So yeah, we live right next to each other.
So probably the same creature.
Yeah.
So have you had any cats or anything come up missing or anything like should talk about happened in the
Yeah,
town?
yeah. Actually, back in 2010, we had some cats, and one of them was missing. But we went over to the lots, the same area where that girl saw that juvenile on the tree. One of the cat's heads was bent all the way back. I mean, its head was touching its neck, and then we had some other cats just disappear. We have currently have 4 cats, but so far none of them have come up missing.
Right. So you haven't got a real good look at the creature?
Not except that first one I saw in 2002, and is like maybe 4 or 5 foot high, and I saw the head and the white eyes, and it just ducked behind the tree. That's the only time I've physically seen something besides that one that ran down the street.
Oh wow.
But I'm
So
not sure if that high pitched whistle was that or not. Have you ever heard anything like that?
I've heard a lot of whistles associated with them. A lot of whistles. That's actually one of the common things that they will do is they will whistle.
It's like
And
one solid note, like, "Woo," and it lasted for like
yeah,
almost a minute.
yes, yeah, they're good at making and mimicking noises. That's one of the things that they. I think they like to do that. Honestly, I really do. I think they. I don't know if it's to scare you or if it's to maybe tell you this is where we're at. We don't want you over here. I'm not sure. Some people, they talk about getting a feeling of dread.
I haven't had that
And
feeling yet, just a feeling that I needed to leave, but it wasn't like a dread feeling. It was just a calm, I need to get out of here kind of feeling. But that was before the whistle thing. I was in bed. It was like early in the morning, and I heard it outside my window, but I was still laying in bed when I heard it. And it was 2 days in a row, and it was just a solid long minute or two long whistle.
yeah, that sounds a lot like what they do. I know that Dawn, I think in a video I'd done with her, had talked about the one you seen at the stop sign, and I actually walked over to the stop sign, and this thing would have been huge that you would have seen.
Yeah. I just wish
Have
we had a camera pointing down at the time.
right? Is it? Have you heard it recently, or is it?
No, well, I thought I heard something about a couple of years ago when I was taking my daughter to work, but I think might have been something else. Could have been somebody in the distance. It sounded almost like a siren kind of sound, but I don't
Right.
know if that was somebody in the miles away doing something, or if that was, I don't know if you've ever heard them make a siren kind of sound. It sounded weird.
They can make all kinds of different sounds. They can mimic almost, I think, anything that they hear. Um, it's interesting to me though that they like to come up to that old abandoned house. There's something luring them up there. It's hard to tell though. It's really it would be hard to do a night investigation around where you guys are at because it's a lot of farmers around and stuff, and they usually don't like people poking around in the dark out in the fields. Um, we could use Dawn for bait, maybe.
No, we have a dog. We have a deaf blue heeler, but
Yeah,
actually, now that I think about it, a couple of years ago, our dog it was late at night. We have cameras around our house now, but she was looking toward our next door neighbor's house, and she was whimpering. This is a blue heeler. They're usually fearless. She
right.
was whimpering like she was scared of something, and she was looking toward the fence area. So I don't know what was out there that would make her cower down, being a blue heeler, but something made her, terrified. So my husband, he's total skeptic. Um,
Uh-huh.
a few months ago, he would get up early in the morning. It was like October, November of last year. He would get up on Sunday morning when he used to work Sundays at 4 or 5 in the morning. He said he went outside to start up his truck, and he said it was so quiet out there. You can feel the quiet.
Hmm.
And he said he had that whole feeling all the way through the next town.
Wow.
And that's happened a few times. And I told him what I think it was, and he just kind of laughed at me. But
Right. Well,
So just
I think y'all definitely have something messing around. Dawn has seen it. You've seen it. That's two people that can confirm a sighting in
I
that
think
area.
my oldest son has seen one, the same one that she saw in that house. He says he saw it, but he's slightly autistic, so he could be making stuff up. He does believe, though. So
Right. Yeah, I would say there was something there since Dawn had seen it and everything. We may just have to keep an eye on it up there, and if it keeps continuing, maybe we can do a night investigation and see if we can catch anything. Try to work it out to where we could maybe get, I don't know, maybe the old school area where the old school used to be, maybe set up there if we could talk to the owner or whatever.
they talk
But
about the one where the building was torn down,
yeah,
because that's where I saw that first one.
okay.
That's exactly where I was at, right by that big tree or by the light switch, and that's where I saw it duck behind that big tree.
So that would be a good starting point. Uh, Maybe we could find out who owns that property and see if we could get permission to be there for the night.
Yeah.
Something don't come up and make us its dinner.
It was around the fall, October, so maybe I don't know if they come around certain areas at certain times of the year, but it was
Right,
20 years ago in October when I first saw it.
right. Okay. Well, is that pretty much all your sightings?
That I can recollect at the moment.
Right.
But I
All
heard that
right.
once you have one, you continue to have many.
It seems to be that way. Everybody
And
that has an encounter usually have more.
yeah, that was, I wasn't really scared at the first one. I mean, it was just like I needed to leave, but I just couldn't, I was frozen, you know. Have you ever felt that way where you just couldn't move?
Yeah, it's a very uncomfortable feeling. Yeah, it's the fight or flight syndrome is what they call it, and
Yeah.
people react differently under stress, and we don't know how we're going to react until it happens. That's the unfortunate thing is we don't know how we're going to react until we're actually in that situation. All right. Well, if that's your story, then I want to thank you for coming on and giving us your encounters because it adds to what Dawn's seen. And when you get a lot of witnesses in, the same area, it just goes to show that there's something there when you get multiple people seeing, the same thing. So if you'd like to say anything before we go, I'll give you the floor and we'll end it if you don't have any more you'd like to add.
I can't think of anything right now.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on and for sharing your story. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for confirming some of my sounds, especially the whistle things. I wasn't sure about that.
Oh yeah, the whistles are definite. Yep, definitely.
That's
For
what I was
sure.
thinking when I first heard it.
Yes, for sure. All right. Well, thank you for coming on and we'll hopefully maybe check back with you in the future and see if anything happens.
Okay.
All right.
I'll let my sister know if I hear anything and then she can get to touch with you.
All right, that will work. I sure appreciate you coming on today.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right. Well, thanks guys for watching and everybody watching. And as I always say, keep your head on a swivel and don't end up something's dinner. Until next time, we'll see you later.